Hi, I'm the Undead Dev. In today's video, we're going to be talking about gameplay tags in Unreal Engine. I'll show you what they are, why I love them, and where they fall a little short. And then I'll walk you through a simple reusable system I use that allows me to reference them on any actor. Let's take a look. First of all, what are gameplay tags? Well, gameplay tags are a built-in variable type in Unreal Engine. They allow you to add hierarchical labels to anything in your project, actors, components, anything. All your gameplay tags are stored in a .ini file and can be referenced from anywhere within your project. And because they're hierarchical, you can use them for broad categories or be very specific. What should you use gameplay tags for? You can use gameplay tags anytime you want to manage state, or abilities, or status, or effects. Tags often replace booleans on actors, as they can either have them or not have them. There's two states. Some examples are, can this actor run? Is this actor running? Can this actor be invincible? Is this actor poisoned? It's important to note the gameplay tags are not the same as actor tags and component tags. Actor tags and component tags are simple collections of strings that can be added to an actor or a component. Actor tags and component tags are nice because they're easy to add to any actor or component. Actor tags and component tags are also heavily used by PCG, so they still have their place outside of gameplay tags. But actor tags and component tags are just strings. They don't have any hierarchy. They don't have any built-in validation or UI. Gameplay tags are a richer type, a container that can hold multiple hierarchical tags and validate them against a global list. Gameplay tags also come with a lot of built-in functions in Unreal right out of the box. Anything from checking if it has all of the tags to matching any of the tags to creating a specific query that you can use at a later time. Why I like gameplay tags. They allow you to very simply manage an actor's gameplay state. They are highly optimized and faster than complex string comparisons or complex logic. They are well supported in network replicated games, ensuring that states remain consistent across the client and the server. They make the code less rigid while at the same time making it more consistent. And because they're validated against a global list, you don't need to remember the exact name or the spelling or the case sensitivity that you gave any specific tag. There's a UI there built in to help you select the right tag. Why the gameplay tags can be frustrating. My biggest problem with them is that they're not included on any actor by default. If you wanted to add an actor tag to an actor, you simply go into the details panel and add another string to its already existing tags list. If you want to add a gameplay tag to an actor, the process is a little bit more complex. The gameplay tags are a type of variable, which means you need to add the variable to the actor in order to access it. But unlike actor tags, there's no consistent way to access that specific gameplay tag. You have to give it a name and you have to instantiate it as a variable, which means from actor to actor, maybe you named the variable something different. Maybe the way you access it's slightly different, but it means that there isn't consistency between the actors on how you access those gameplay tags, the same way there is with actor tags or component tags. Well, one of the strengths of gameplay tags is that they make the tags themselves more consistent throughout the project. They make the accessing, the adding, and the using the tags less consistent, which drives me crazy. And while this might be a good design pattern if you wound up using lots of different tag variables on the same actor for different needs, most cases I've seen just add one tag container to an actor and reference that tag container for that actor. And yes, some of this is remaining consistent as a developer, but also the tools that we have ought to lead themselves towards consistency, and I don't feel that gameplay tags does. Gameplay tags are also a lot harder to check if you don't know what type of actor you're looking at. For instance, if you have a collision and you're not quite sure what actor that is, you first have to figure out what type of actor it is and then cast it to that type of actor in order to access the gameplay tags on that actor. And there's no way to access those gameplay tags without needing to know something about the actor that you're looking at. So I've been looking into solutions to this problem, and I found a couple. The first solution is inheritance. You just add the gameplay tags container to a base class, and you have all the actors you use that you need to check tags on inherit from that base class. And while this might work, it's a messy solution because it requires everything to inherit from one class. And if you've already got a code base started, this can often be difficult with reparenting classes, and it can get real messy real fast. A second option is you use interfaces, and you create an interface to get the tags. But the problem then is that you need to have the actors implement that interface. And that means that every time you need to use that interface, you have to have a custom implementation, as the interface only explains that the actor will give you the gameplay tags and doesn't specify how. So you often will wind up writing the same code over and over and over again to get these gameplay tags. And I'd really like to avoid that. And then there's my preferred method, composition. Instead of adding the gameplay tags container to a base class and inheriting, I add the gameplay tags container to a component, and I use reusable code to access it and check if it exists. So let me show you that system. So let's put some of this into practice. Here I have the default Unreal Engine Arena Shooter template level. I haven't made any changes to this yet. This is the one you will get right out of the box from Unreal Engine. The system is made of two parts, the component and a function library function in order to access the component. So let's go ahead and create that actor component. I often try to use actor components for any sort of logic in the game because it means I can add that component to any actor and I don't have to recreate that logic. It's all part of the dry principle. Don't repeat yourself. I put all of my custom logic in a folder called custom, just so that I have it separate from everything else that automatically comes in the project. I'll create a new blueprint. It will be an actor component. I will name it AC Gameplay Tags. It'll be a very simple component. It'll consist of one variable of type gameplay tag container. Make sure you make this public. And make sure you give it a name that you'll remember. And that's it. That's all you need to do for the component. So now to consistently access this component on other actors, I'm going to make a blueprint function library. Why a function library? Because we want to be able to call this from anywhere in our code. Function libraries allow us to create functions that can exist outside of any specific actor. So this will allow us to call this from anywhere and check on the gameplay tags. I'm going to name this BP functions generic so that I can add more functions to it later. And inside this new function library, I'm going to title this function get gameplay tags. It's going to have an input of type actor. And I'm going to call that incoming actor. So this is the actor that we'll be looking on. And the output is going to be of type gameplay tag container. We're going to call the output the gameplay tags. And I'm also going to give it one more output type, Boolean. We're going to just call this has tags. Now this function is going to be quite simple. We're going to take the incoming actor and get that AC component that we had on it. So get component by class. The class is that AC gameplay tags component. And we're going to first check if it's valid. If it's not valid, we're going to just return immediately with empty tags, and we're going to say has tags is false. Then we can copy this node, and if it does have that tag, we can call get gameplay tag container on that component, which is what I called the tag container when I created the component. And we're going to make sure to check has tags in this case. And that's all you need to do for the function. So make sure to save and compile. So now we have a component that we can add to any actor, and we have a function library that will allow us to quickly check the tags. So now we can pick any actor and we could add it to an existing blueprint, or we can even just drag and drop it on an actor in this scene. So now let's use this for something. Let's say we want to make this dummy invulnerable. Well, the dummy is already kind of invulnerable because you can't really hurt him in this game. But let's say we want something to pop up on screen to let us know when we shoot it that this dummy's invulnerable. What we can do is we can check the gameplay tag on this dummy. So let's go ahead and open up our palette and drag the gameplay tags directly onto this dummy. So now we have this AC gameplay tags, which will allow us to add gameplay tags. If we click it, you'll see this gameplay tag container. So now we can go ahead and add a tag. Click on this plus button here. For source, select default GameplayTags.ini. That's just the default gameplay tag container. We're going to call this health.invuln for invulnerability. And we've added that tag to the global list, but we haven't added it to this actor. So let's go ahead and click this again. Make sure to add the tags to the gameplay tag container and not the gameplay tag root. This just shows you what roots you're allowed to add, but here we want to add the actual tag. So in this case, we see we've added health because we did health.invulnerability, which means invulnerability sits underneath it. I want to click that health.invuln. And when we do, you see that it populates inside this gameplay tag container. So we've added that tag to this actor. Can go ahead and save. And now we want to edit the projectile so that it checks the tags on whatever it hits. So this would be hard to do if we weren't using gameplay tags because we need to know something about the actor. So now what we have to do is call the function we created and it'll tell us what tags this actor has on it. So let's open up the projectile under variant shooter, blueprints, pickups, projectiles. And here's the function that happens on the collision when the projectile hits something. And there's a lot of stuff that happens, but what we want to do is kind of hijack this method and check the tag to see if the thing we hit is invulnerable. So let's take that actor we hit, and now we can call get gameplay tags from our generic functions. This is that generic function library we created, and this is the function we created. So we want to check if it has tags. If it doesn't, go back to what it was doing anyways. But if it does, now we can check if it has the right tag. And here you see we get the same UI we had earlier. So let's check if it has invulnerable. And we want it to be an exact match. And we can branch it again. So if it's not the invulnerable tag, it means we found a container that has other tags, in which case we want to go back to what we were doing anyways. But if it does have the invulnerable tag, we print out, haha, you can't hurt me. So hit compile, come back over here, and now our code should just work. So go down here, we get the gun. I picked the dummy that's all the way over here. And you'll see as I shoot him in the corner of my screen, I'm getting, haha, you can't hurt me every time he gets hit. Doesn't happen for any other thing that we hit, because everything else doesn't have that gameplay tags container, and everything just works as desired. And we can just do this to anything. So we've got the code in there for the haha, you can't hurt me. So I could add that to anything in this scene now. So let me go ahead and add it to this cube. I can just go click here, click add AC for actor component, the gameplay tags component that we created, and then we'll add the specific tag that we're looking for, the health invuln. And now if I play, if I shoot this square or shoot this block, we get the exact same thing again. You see in the top corner, the haha, you can't hurt me. And so that's logic that we were able to port over without having to do almost anything. All we had to do was add our pre-made components onto another actor. And we can do that with any actor in the game. It's very simple. This kind of shows how you can simply reuse these components and how you can use the gameplay tags to determine logic within your game. Gameplay tags gives you a clean hierarchical way to add labels to your game logic. And by wrapping them in small reusable components and a function library, we avoid inheritance and all the boilerplate code. Now, any actor can have the gameplay tags component with a simple drag and drop, and you can start checking tags right away. If you found this helpful, this is your reminder to like and subscribe. I'm also trying to create more of these videos, so if there's a topic you'd like to see me cover, feel free to leave it in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching and happy tagging.